Buying a home can often be the most expensive purchase you'll ever make. However, many people rent, and some may never own a home at all. So which one is best for you? The short answer is that it depends on your personal situation. When trying to figure out what makes sense, it all starts with your finances. Buying a home often requires you to borrow money, like with a mortgage. This requires approval, but a down payment is also necessary. For many people, this can be the biggest barrier to owning a home. The minimum required for this down payment depends on the value of the home, but it may range between 5 and 20%. Any mortgage that is under 20% will require mortgage insurance, which is an additional cost that you'll need to consider when weighing your options. Many financial institutions have online mortgage calculators. These calculators can help you estimate the maximum mortgage value that you may qualify for, what your down payment might be, and what your monthly payments could look like. In addition, there are typically other one-time expenses involved when buying a home, like land transfer taxes and legal fees. Renting is much simpler, as renters may only need to pay 2 months' rent and renter's insurance when moving into a new place. But remember, mortgage payments and rental fees aren't the only living costs you'll incur. When comparing the costs of each option, you should also factor in utilities, insurance, property tax, repairs, and maintenance. For homeowners, there are 2 common types of properties to also factor in: freehold or condos. With a freehold home, you are responsible for taking care of your home and the land that your home sits on. With a condo, you're mainly responsible for the property inside your unit. Condo fees are used for the upkeep of the condominium complex and to top off the reserve fund. The reserve fund is managed by a board of directors and is usually used for extraordinary expenses. You should factor in the cost of these condo fees. They typically cover the overhead costs of maintaining the property and will sometimes cover utility fees such as cable TV. There are also special assessments which commonly arise in older buildings where a condo's reserve fund may be insufficient to cover the expense of unexpected repairs or property upgrades. The overage cost is typically passed on to condo owners, and that can be very costly. For a freehold home, a leaky roof or broken furnace can leave a homeowner with an unexpected and possibly expensive repair bill. Renters, on the other hand, are not typically responsible for these repairs, as that duty may fall to the landlord who owns the property. One other expense that renters should consider is renter's insurance. The insurance policy could provide coverage for any damages to your personal belongings or injuries that may occur within your rental unit. Can your budget allow you to save for these possible expenses? This thought process of unexpected repairs or maintenance can also be used if you're deciding whether to lease or own a vehicle as well. Another thing to consider when deciding whether to buy or rent your home is how long you plan on staying in one place. For example, is your job secure enough so that you won't have to move again soon? Buying and selling a home may involve closing costs, commissions, and other fees that may make moving frequently quite expensive. Next, location. Where you decide to live does matter as well. In some areas, it costs more per month to rent when compared to owning a home, even after factoring in mortgage, property tax, and maintenance fees. There could also be a trade-off between living in a small apartment in the heart of a vibrant city with amenities within walking distance versus the ability to live in a more spacious home in the suburbs that usually requires a vehicle to commute to work and entertainment options. Your lifestyle, family size, and proximity to work and shops might help you determine which style of living is right for you. Additionally, the costs of owning a car because of the location of your home is another important factor to consider. Perhaps it is worthwhile for you to live in a more expensive property in the city if you won't need to own a car. Do some research and compare the average rental rates in a given area to the average home prices. This will help you determine the difference in costs. A benefit to buying a home is that after your mortgage is paid off, you own the home. You don't have to make payments anymore. The same idea can also be applied to paying off a loan for a vehicle. This extra spare income can then be put towards your other goals, such as retirement or a big trip. It's important to note that housing prices typically go up in the long term, which can make investing in a home even more attractive. In contrast, rent may also go up over time due to inflation, unlike a mortgage where payments usually remain the same for the duration of the agreement. So it's important to recognize the pros and cons of each scenario. Renting can have its advantages as well. Rent costs are generally lower than home ownership. So any money you save can go towards your investments, which have the potential to earn a higher rate of return on your money than real estate. While it may take 20 to 30 years to pay off the mortgage on your home, you can immediately start to put away the money into your investments if you have excess savings from renting. While the money you pay to your landlord does nothing to build up your net worth, the savings that you put towards your investments does. As you can see, there are benefits to both renting and buying a home. Because your personal situation is unique, there is no universal right or wrong answer between the two. So remember, determine your personal situation by focusing on finances, job security, and where you want to live. Then research the costs and benefits of renting versus owning that are specific to you.